But for guys, they're used to
Before
sex
that
just
part.
being there, right? They're just being on, like,
It's
you know.
there.
So they're like, oh my God, like there's something wrong with me. I have sexual dysfunction. I have erectile dysfunction. Oh my God, like my life is ruined.
Well, you're listening to Spicy Bananas podcast, where no topic is off limits and every conversation gets a little cheeky, a little deep, and a whole lot real.
All right. Well, we're your hosts, B1 and B2, two mates who sold vibrators and anal plugs and douches, you name it. Answered awkward questions, and now we're making uncomfortable combos feel like the norm. So take it away, B1.
We do that. We make things sound very normal because it is.
It is normal.
Very normal. Set the mood. Okay. From rethinking to realizing your libido didn't ghost you. It was never safe to come out and play. Today's guest is Dr. Jenny Hale, trauma-informed coach, speaker, and unapologetic truth teller. I love that. I love that. She's the woman you call when your emotional wounds and cock-blocking your sex life and your normal childhood turns into the root of all the bedroom shutdowns. So she's here to talk to us about, well, tonight. The real reason so many high-functioning adults are sexually stuck, emotionally miswired, and spiritually frustrated.
Mm-hmm.
Let's bring this on, hey?
Yeah.
All right. So, okay, you had a normal childhood, no chaos, etc., and yet everything fell apart. What do people not get about that kind of trauma? And welcome. Sorry.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, like sitting question for the first one there.
Yeah,
Okay.
just an easy one.
Yeah. Just dive in deep.
Why not?
So I had this experience, and then when I started talking about it, I found a whole bunch of other people had this experience as well, which is that I grew up hearing that I was having a great childhood and that I was really lucky, you know, to be born into a comfortable middle-class family and get a good education and, you know, have extracurriculars and, you know, I had a good childhood.
Yeah.
And it wasn't until I actually like had a total burnout in my mid-30s and was unable to do anything for about a year that I even questioned that story.
Right.
I was like, I had to question. It's like, why am I running myself so on the edge that one little thing just pushes me over into burnout? Like, all my life, every time I did some personal development and I got better and I got more capable, I would just take on more stuff.
Yeah.
More community stuff, more volunteer things, more helping my friends. Like I was just constantly running on adrenaline and filling up every waking moment and not getting enough sleep. And eventually, like I just hit a period of time when a bunch of stuff happened that was stressful and I had no reserves.
Yeah.
Bam. Like suddenly I couldn't do it. Suddenly I wasn't Superwoman anymore. And fortunately, I had the presence of mind to go, okay, why did I do that to myself? What's going on?
Yeah.
And ultimately that series of questions led me to realizing that like my childhood was normal, like it was average kind of for where I grew up, but it wasn't what my brain needed in order to be able to develop in a healthy way. Like I had adulthood with all of these unhealthy coping strategies. And my parents who had loved me did their best, but their parents had also been under-resourced and, you know, they didn't have all of the stuff to give that I would have needed.
Yeah.
You know,
Exactly.
and in our culture, that is normal now. Like we have parents running on fumes all the time. And the kids are just not getting the emotional resources they need, the attention, the time, the physical contact, the emotional attunement from their parents, because the parents just exhausted and burned out and just need a break themselves and have nothing left to give at the end of the day, you know, when the kids really need them.
So true. Excuse me. Well, that's it. And yet for you to realize in your mid-30s, that's a benefit too, because a lot don't. So to realize that and start taking those steps, which is what we're about, right? So we want people to understand. We want people to listen to this, the menopause. and sort of take note of being able to listen to yourself. And also, yes, children, they're learning from us. So we do need to take that time, right? So, well, what was the first moment you realized your workism was actually an emotional escape? So working so much, as you were saying, like parents do, they just flood themselves with everything. It's grasping at things to try and cover up other things, do you think? Or
Well, yeah, it's a coping strategy that you actually get as a child. And this
Yeah.
is something that I don't think people quite realize, is that you can have a 5-year-old who's a workaholic.
Mhm.
Like, that was me. It was like there was emotional stuff that I couldn't name or express. And my way to get away from it was to be a good girl and do all the things I was supposed to do and
Right.
do well in school, because that got me positive attention.
Mhm.
Right. So it was like my life was doing what I was supposed to do in order to get the positive attention.
Yeah.
And it was only when I couldn't do that anymore that I then had, like, I just was disabled.
Yep.
All the emotions started to surface that I had been pushing down.
Yeah.
Trying to bury.
And yeah, it was like I honestly, I felt like I had to run. Like, if I slowed down at all, there was some big bad thing just right behind me that would get me.
Yeah.
And like, if I had been able to sit myself down when I was 25 or 30 and say, look, this is unsustainable and you are going to burn out and you have to check, I wouldn't have believed me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, it was so much like, this is a matter of survival. I'm going to die if I slow down.
Mm-hmm.
That I literally, I actually had this morning moment a year before, where a friend of mine was checking herself into rehab and I was there, like, helping to support her. And she's there, like, with one side of her brain negotiating with the nurse about what kind of sedatives she can get. And with the other side of her brain, she's telling me where in the apartment she's hidden pills so that I can text her fiance to find them and throw them away.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
She's freaking out because, like, I can't take 3 weeks off work because I can't afford to not work for 3 weeks. But she was going to be in rehab for 3 weeks. Right? And I'm here. I know. I'm looking at, and I'm like taking this whole thing in. And I realized that what I was feeling right then was envy.
Yeah. Okay.
It was like, why can't I take 3 weeks off and have the cleaning and the cooking handled and everything and just have permission to stop completely and just rethink my life for 3 weeks?
Yeah.
Like, why do you have to have a substance addiction to do that?
Yeah.
So it's not just not going to rehab for a substance abuse. It's just going to rehab just to actually get away. It's not a holiday. It's just what you said.
Yeah.
Yeah.
3 weeks off because breakfast, lunch, and tea. Yes, okay, I'll still do my washing, but can I just then go back to the room and then read a book or just I need that time to switch off with my life because I'm going through a midlife crisis. And then you're going to throw in menopause with that one as well. So if we haven't hit our midlife crisis yet, we've got it with menopause, we're really going to explode, right?
Yeah. Internally melt. Yeah.
Yeah. And the thing is, at the time, I was like, oh, that's a little weird. I probably should pay attention to that. Maybe I should just not take on another contract until I can figure out what's actually going to be, sustainable for me and what might, and then someone offered me something for 8 weeks. It was just filling in for someone who was sick. And I was like, oh, look, 8 weeks, not a big deal.
Yeah.
And then the person turned out to have been really, really sick for a long time. They couldn't have him back for early retirement. And then I had to hold the fort for almost a year until I found a decent replacement.
Wow.
And by then I was in the burnout.
But that's what you do. I'll just put myself on hold because I need to look after, I've got other things that I need to do and look after. Hey.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's it. We take a lot.
Yeah. And the workaholic isn't always paid work.
Yeah. No.
Like, you can be a workaholic just looking after other people. You can be a workaholic in a volunteer organization. Like, it's
emotionally,
you can be a stay-at-home mum. That's a job and a half. Don't get me started on underpaid work for being a mum at home, really.
Yeah.
Emotionally, physically, mentally. Well, that's emotionally and mentally. But
so, yeah. Absolutely.
And then you get to perimenopause and the kumbaya hormones start to go away.
Okay.
Right? Those hormones when you're in your reproductive years, right? The worst stuff can happen. People can do all kinds of ridiculous, insane stuff. And you're like, oh, but we love each other.
Yeah.
It's fine. I'll let that slide. They didn't mean it.
Yeah.
And then you get to perimenopause and you're like,
Fuck it.
I don't have to put up with this shit anymore. Like,
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
done.
Yeah. I'm horrific on the road at the moment. Like, my patience is very slim for following someone doing 30 kilometers in a 60K zone. And I don't tailgate, I don't do anything like that, but it is so frustrating sitting, giving that massive space to someone doing half the speed limit and still smiling because I'm going to work. But yeah, perimenopause. Oh, Lordy.
We could talk on
Don't get us started. Don't get us started.
Yeah. So I do want to toss in here though
Mm-hmm.
a little bit about the men,
Yes.
because
Listen,
there's this whole other world that women don't necessarily appreciate that men go through in this process.
Mm-hmm.
And for us, we generally have our first sexual experiences with very young men
Yeah.
who are usually clueless, and it's usually like not the world's best first experience. But we quickly have to figure out how it works with our body and our libido. And like, if someone's being an asshole, we don't want to do sexual things with them. And we've got to the point now where you can say that to a guy, right?
Yep.
It's like, no, you've been treating me like shit. We're not having no nookie for you, sunshine. I'm not feeling it, right? But young men have so much testosterone that even though they might be having that exact same emotional response underneath, the testosterone makes them go there anyway.
Yeah. Yeah.
So in my work, like with my clients, I have a lot of men who have this really confusing experience as their testosterone levels start to come down. Like when you're a guy, when you're like 18 and your testosterone's peaked, right?
Yeah.
You literally be thinking, this is a bad idea. I shouldn't do this. And be doing it anyway.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like the testosterone can literally overrule the mind.
Yeah.
The mind is just a passenger going, no, this is bad idea. It's a bad idea. And it happens anyway.
But the scrotum and the penis goes, yes, it's a fantastic idea.
Oh, look,
Yeah.
have a new 16-year-old, okay? For another couple of years, look, not even that. I have a 21-year-old, so male.
Yeah.
2 males. So yeah, look.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Mine's 27. He's on the plateau of like, to the best of my knowledge.
So, somewhere around like 22, 23, 24, the prefrontal cortex gets developed enough that it can, like, if he thinks it's a bad idea, he can not do it.
Yeah.
Decipher that.
Right?
Yeah.
But that emotional ick of this person is treating me badly, that's a lot more subtle.
Yep.
Right? That doesn't turn into a thought of I shouldn't do this. So the testosterone levels need to come down a bit more before that kind of emotional ick starts to be at all noticeable. And usually what happens is guys are over 30. They're usually somewhere between 30 and 40. The first time that they have an interaction with a woman who's desirable, and for some reason, like it just isn't happening physically, and they're totally confused. They're like, why? Like, she's gorgeous, like she wants me. Why is my body not doing anything? And it's because at an emotional level, there's something about what this woman is doing that is not nice.
Yeah.
Right.
It's not good. It doesn't feel right.
Yeah.
But, as women, we have to negotiate that libido being dependent on that stuff from the very time we begin having sex.
Yeah.
Right. But for guys, they're used to
Before that
sex just
part.
being there, right? They're just being on, like,
It's there.
So they're like, oh my God, like there's something wrong with me. I have sexual dysfunction. I have erectile dysfunction. Oh my God, like my life is ruined. Because the idea that your emotions might have a say in who you want to have sex with and who you don't is a new idea.
Yeah, right.
It hasn't been an issue the whole of their sexually active life for like 15, 20 years.
Yeah.
It's never been an issue. Emotions have never been part of the picture. And suddenly, for it to suddenly matter is just, it's outside what most people, it doesn't even occur to them.
Yeah.
Well, that explains, to be honest, with customers and age groups that we see certain things with in our stores, exactly what you said then. And that makes a lot more sense when they're coming in at that age and you're thinking, why? What?
The under 25s, they're, my girlfriend, she doesn't get turned on straight away. So we've got to educate them the fact, well, no, she's not like you. Your erection is there, like, hello, let's
Before
go.
your brain even thinks about it.
Yeah, I said, there's a lot to build up with us females. There's a lot to actually arouse us in order for this female to get in the mood. It's not just directly, there's the clitoris, there's the vagina, away you go. It doesn't work like that with. So
not a magic button.
We are educating a small percentage of men in that way that walk through our boutique, I guess. But in saying that, when you go to the older ones, they want to connect, and then they do have some sort of erectile dysfunction going on.
Which we always clarify, like health, physical, mental. There's a lot of reason for it. Yeah.
As they get older, there's certain medication. It could be diabetes. There's a lot of things. So
it's interesting
to rule out the medical stuff, to be sure.
Yes.
But it is something that that men need to take into account when they're, anywhere from 30 to 40 is usually where it starts to tip.
Yeah.
No.
Is that they're so used to being able to just do it.
Yeah.
They think they ought to be able to just do it. And then they try to overrule their body and they try to take, Viagra or get like pumpy things or all of these things to force the body to do the thing that their mind says it should do. Because they don't understand. They don't understand that if you get a partnership going with the body, that you actually get good input, you get good information out of these situations. You go, okay, what is it about this person that I don't like? What is it about this person that's putting me off?
Yeah, that's a good way to look at it. It really is.
I guess there's actual information, and I've had men who've come to the realization, like at 35 or 40 or 45 years of age, that they had actually traumatized themselves, that they had sexual trauma from the situations that they put themselves in as a teenager or that their testosterone dragged them into.
Right.
That they had experiences that were emotionally really unpleasant, that they had gone ahead and done anyway because of the testosterone. But they had the same emotional response of ick and that women have to sexual abuse situations. But it was coming out when something reminded them. There was something about the situation or something about the woman triggered the association, that earlier experience.
Yeah.
And once they actually did the work to process the trauma and take care of the little boy inside them who was dragged into all of these horrible adult situations that he didn't want to be in.
Yeah.
It actually resolves a lot of it.
Well, men don't like to discuss these things either. So, again, with us speaking about this today, amen. But like women talk between themselves. Men don't talk between themselves like that. They're more so high five at a younger age. Yes, I did her, and this is how many. As they get older and realize, and as you said, like they're hitting that age and not realizing they're not like they used to be. And they need to realize then that's when they need to be sort of expressing themselves, talking, get out there, get educated. It's, one of those things that, we definitely need to be pushing on. Don't hide it. It's not a a secret.
Not
It's
a big secret.
not at all.
It's also not abnormal, and it's not an illness, and it's not
Yeah,
permanent,
exactly.
right? Because that's the fear is, oh, that's it. Like, I'm done. I'm broken. I'm useless now. Like,
Yep.
I'm not even able to keep a woman because I can't, like, there's all of these weird stories that go on.
Yeah. And then it
So-
mentally infuses the brain in a sense too, that they're not worthy or they can't do it or they need to then prove to themselves that they can, and then they're going down different and wrong trails or whatnot. But yeah.
Or we could get deeper. We could talk all night about that though too. Like, there are things out there for men. It's not a magic Viagra pill.
Yep.
We could talk about penis pumps, and we can talk about penis rings too. So there is the natural remedies, but unfortunately most of them need to get them from an adult store, and they're too embarrassed to walk into the store. You can't just go into a chemist and purchase those sorts of things. So, man, if you're listening, you've got those sorts of issues, you can trust your local adult store.
Definitely.
So I'm going to a little bit deeper though.
Let's go.
Some of these convos.
Let's do it.
Let's talk about sex.
Okay.
Do you want to sing?
Oh, me?
No.
Okay.
When someone says, I don't feel anything during intimacy, what's really going on under the sheets, like under the surface?
Well, yeah. I mean, there's a few different ways, obviously, and you'd want to rule out medical, physical conditions and blocked nerves and what have you.
Yeah.
Right? But given that everything seems to be completely working normally at a physical level, then there is a reason why somebody would have disconnected their awareness of what's going on with those nerves.
Yeah.
And, 99 times out of 100, it's some kind of traumatic something.
Yeah.
But where people get like a little bit off track with this is they tend to assume that because the effect is showing up in the realm of sex, that the cause must be sexual. But actually, a lot of our brain development happens in the first, 7 or so years of life.
Yeah.
And the foundations that form there are essential for us being able to integrate adult sexuality in a healthy and comfortable way. So if you miss any steps in those first 7 years, it can show up in the sexual realm.
Right.
Yeah, okay.
Interesting.
So, like, for example, in your first 9 months of life, the most important thing that's developing is your sense that the world is a hospitable place, that it's safe to be here, that you'll be taken care of, that people will respond appropriately when you have a need. And so you need a certain level of that. You don't need perfect parents. You just need good enough parents.
Yeah.
In those 9 months, right?
Yeah.
But if something happens, so if you're a preemie baby and you're stuck in an incubator, or if your mother is in hospital without you for a couple of weeks, or you're in hospital without your mother for a couple of weeks, or whatever, like any of these things happen to disrupt your confidence in those first 9 months, then you end up feeling fundamentally unsafe to exist.
Right.
And then everything that comes after that is on this foundation of unsafety.
Yeah.
Including your adult sexuality.
Yeah.
If you're feeling like the world is a dangerous place and it's not safe to be here, then adult sexuality is always going to be looked at through the lens of, is this dangerous or is this going to make me safer?
Right.
Yeah.
It's not about being present, about having enjoyment, about feeling the sensations in your body. It's like, is this person going to hurt me or is this person going to protect me?
Yeah.
It's like a fight or flight sort of mode.
Yeah, exactly. And so it's not really actually that relevant to enjoy it if you're in survival mode.
Yeah. Yep. Definitely.
Okay. You say it's not about what happened, but what didn't happen. Can a lack of nurturing mess up more than actual trauma?
Well, yeah, lack of nurturing is trauma. So let me distinguish between a traumatic event and a trauma.
Okay.
Right? Because we've seen kids can live through very traumatic events, through war and refugees and blah, 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 deaths of parents and not be traumatized.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, you can have kids who apparently, like me, apparently had a very stable, normal upbringing with no specific traumatic events, but ended up with a lasting trauma.
Right.
So the difference is not not the actual event. What matters is how much emotional support is around the child to help them process the impact of whatever happens in life.
Yeah.
If you have a rich extended family with lots of emotional support, you can lose a parent and not have a lasting trauma from it.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're in an environment with parents who are stressed and overwhelmed and unable to be emotionally present, then even normal events like moving house or having a sibling be born can generate emotion that isn't processed and then gets stored in your system, and then you have to cope with, and then you end up with trauma responses.
Right.
Okay.
Interesting.
So we've had a sexual revolution.
We have.
Yeah, we have.
Okay.
But the orgasms still aren't showing up. What gives?
I presume you mean the orgasms for women.
Yes, definitely.
Although
Which we have very few.
I will say for the men listening that if you actually work out how to have multiple orgasms as a man, like there's a whole other world out there.
Yeah.
But you do have to step away from the attachment to ejaculating.
Repeat that again, please, Dr.
Orgasm.
Jenny. They need to realise this.
Yeah. Yeah.
Men need to realize men can have multiple orgasms
Yes.
as long as you don't ejaculate.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
So
Ejaculation is like bam, it switches off the hormones all change. You end up with the Suki prolactin blah. And that's it, done.
Yeah.
But if you don't ejaculate, you can actually end up having peaks of pleasure the same way a woman does.
Yeah.
One after another after another.
Mm-hmm.
But you have to separate, and that's hard because you get a massive whack of dopamine when you ejaculate.
Yep.
Yeah.
So ejaculation is addictive.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like coming off any other drug.
Yep.
To separate the ejaculation and to not ejaculate so that you can eventually ride these waves of pleasure for literally like 2-3 hours at a time. No end required. Right?
Yep.
So, that's not happening for men.
No.
As much as the orgasms are not happening for women, and for pretty much the same reasons.
Yeah. Okay.
In our industry, technically it's called edging. So bringing them to that edge and taking it down again, and it is a mastering of a thing because men aren't used to that, going there and going, oh, where's it gone?
Mm-hmm.
So it's that tease factor, isn't it? That edging right to the edge,
and that's another. A conversation too. It's exploring your body. Like you need to explore your body to know what your body is capable of doing. And women, you can edge yourself. You can have multiple orgasms too, but you can still continue to orgasm as well. Men, you need to learn the art of edging.
Yeah, definitely.
So while we're on this topic,
just before we move on from that, I will just mention the orgasmic plateau.
Yes.
Okay. Yes.
Which both men and women can reach, where you've done enough activation and stimulation of the sexual energies in the physical body that you're on an orgasmic plateau. So instead of going into orgasm and out of orgasm and then back into it again, you're actually in an orgasmic state, which just gets like more and less intense, but it's still orgasmic for extended periods of minutes at a time, like 20 minutes at a time.
Yeah.
You're looking at my eyes, like 20 minutes.
Yeah. 20 minutes of being on this orgasmic plateau, but you have you have the ramp up to get there. So that means you've got to have allowed like at least an hour.
Yeah.
You can't have a quickie and get to the orgasmic plateau.
No, definitely not.
That's right.
Definitely not.
So if you were, say, an adult product in an adult store, what product would you pick for you? Be anything.
What best describes you?
what best describes me. See, that's different. What I would pick and who I am.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
which
Let's
one
do
am I
two.
answering?
Well, I think definitely personality.
Yeah.
Mm.
Mhm.
Have you got any of those gels that just feel amazing when you put them on?
Mhm.
That one.
Okay, so you're not going to last a long time, but you're going to draw all the blood to that area and make it electric for at least about 5 to 10 minutes.
5 to 10, yeah.
Yeah,
But you can
I'm a hot tube.
reapply.
You can
Yeah.
reapply. Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
you can reapply and you can
Yeah.
go for that
Yeah.
hour.
Mhm.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I like that.
That's a good one.
I like
we haven't
that.
done one before.
No, we have not. No, we have not.
Love it. Alrighty. How do you respond to this new age trend of healing through sacred sex with men who think their dick is a divine energy source?
Sorry. Divine energy
It's
source.
Divine energy.
no, it's
A
really
sword.
true. They really exist. Yeah. I live on an island in Thailand. We had a big scandal about 8 years ago with one of these guys. So it's difficult because, like with everything, every lasting myth, there's like an element of truth,
Mhm.
right? So there is something about being held sexually and allowed to express yourself and allowed to be whoever you are, and that somebody is totally fine with that and they're showing up just to take care of you. Like there is something about that experience that can be healing.
Yeah.
And having that experience in the moment and then going away and integrating and processing can be healing, like regardless of who the guy is. But the magic doesn't come from the guy.
I didn't mean to
Right?
be shocked.
It's your own magic. It's your
Yeah.
own sexual energy.
Yeah.
It's your power healing you. All he does is give you permission.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
And some of us genuinely need that permission from outside and maybe even from a male outside figure, depending on what our childhood landscape was like. But the thing that I keep saying to women over and over is that sexuality is not, we tend to in our culture have it be programmed with this idea that sexuality is something that happens with another person, like another person arouses us.
Yeah.
And creates this sexuality that happens between the two people. But the truth is that sexuality is sensuality. It's embodiedness.
Yes.
It is our life force. It is our experience of being alive. You can have orgasmic levels of pleasure from running your fingers across rough surfaces or having soft silk against your skin or things that are just purely sensual.
Solo play. There's nothing wrong with masturbation. So solo play is perfect too.
We were given these parts in our body for a reason, right? They're not a wasted piece of body part.
Pleasure.
But that's
not material.
But there's also somehow a sense, like in our programming, there's somehow a sense that if you haven't got a person to be sexual with, like you would masturbate because you were a loser and you were alone and you were, or you were a horny teenage boy who had to let the steam off somehow, right? But basically, it's that there's not a story in our culture around the power and the enjoyment of the sensuality and the sexuality of a person, of being in a human body just by yourself. And
the
it's a big
benefits.
miss. Yeah, if you don't have that, like how are you supposed to meet another person and enjoy the interaction if you don't know how to enjoy it, period? Like
that's one big thing. Sorry to interrupt, but that's one big thing we talk about all the time, especially at work, is you get to know yourself first. You know your limits. You know what's good, what's not. You can teach them in an essential way also and have it become a essential thing together. But to get to know your body first is the main thing. Know what's right, what's wrong, what's good, what's not. And that's just what we've always done, always said. Like we truly believe in that.
We're all different.
And if you are somebody who has had some kind of past where you feel like this is out of your reach, you feel afraid of men, or you had a lot of religious programming and you have shame, or you've not been allowed to have boundaries, and you keep, like, when you engage with people out in the wild, you keep getting your boundaries trampled because you don't articulate them, like all of this kind of stuff. There are qualified, sane, professional men who work as practitioners in providing the opportunity for women to learn these things and to access their own power in a space that's held by a professional, qualified, sex surrogate, or somebody who's working together with a psychologist or something like that to provide that with somebody who is safe and sane, and is not using you to fuel their own ego, is not manipulating you, is not going to take advantage of your vulnerability and all that kind of stuff. Like, any guy who's offering to heal you unpaid, red flag.
Yeah. I was just about to go, red flag.
Yes.
Yeah.
Definitely.
And for free, red flag.
There are professionals for that. They're hard to find.
Yeah,
They tend
definitely.
to keep very quiet about it because they don't want to be seen as those other guys. So it tends to be word of mouth referrals and referrals through
They call it Yoni massage for women.
Yoni.
Is it Yoni?
Yeah. Yoni is the Sanskrit word for vulva.
Okay.
Female sexual organs.
Just searching for a
but not everybody who does that is like a professional, like a mental health professional, like space holding caregiver professional. Some of them are more like a massage therapist
with benefits, right?
So they will massage places that other massage therapists won't.
Happy endings. Happy ends that got you. Happy
Right,
endings.
but they aren't necessarily with the psychology and the
that makes
and particularly there's this thing called transference and countertransference that happens in a therapeutic relationship or a power dynamic, where when there's a power imbalance of any kind, so with a teacher, with a boss, with a healer, a doctor, professional of any kind, we tend to project onto them whatever we have unresolved with our parents.
Okay.
And then we start to act like a child would towards a parent.
Right.
And then the professional can experience then an emotional reaction to that. So you like trying to seduce your therapist. That's transference. Because you're not seeing, your therapist isn't a real person. And if you met them in real life, you probably wouldn't want to seduce them. But because of the power dynamic in the relationship, it triggers something in you that makes you want to get that kind of attention from them. You want to makes you want to be special in their eyes or whatever. It makes you right. So their job as the professional is to go, oh, look, transference. I'm going to keep my boundaries and I'm going to keep this person safe and we're going to explore what's going on here.
Right.
But the professional may themselves then have a reaction of like good for their ego, or they might fall in love with the person. They have a counter transference. So their own family dynamic stuff gets triggered.
Yeah, right. I get you.
And if you don't have training about this, you're not even aware that this is a possibility, then you just think that, this woman in your yoga class just really likes you. You don't realize that because you're the teacher, you've
got a bond with them. Yeah.
And so, you've learned about Yoni massage and she's talking about her, sexual traumas, and you're like, well, can do this thing, and I'm helping people, and like it's a slippery slope where you end up enmeshed in this really messy emotional dynamic that isn't good for anyone.
No,
and it's happening all the time.
Of course. Okay, so we got ever cried during sex and didn't know why? I think there's been a lot that have. And explain why people do cry during intercourse.
Well, leaving aside, things like pain and
yes, of course.
But it's been nice. And
yes, emotionally, emotion, not physically, sort of painful.
Where did emotion come from?
Yeah. Well, in our culture, we are all carrying quite a load of suppressed emotion from the past. We are usually not in situations where it's appropriate to display that.
Yeah.
We usually have to keep our professional face on or social face on, and we have to show up and do things and take care of everybody and tick the boxes. And then when you fall into bed at night exhausted, you just pass out. So you don't actually meditate for an hour and in the evening either, usually in our culture. So there's a backlog of stuff. And when you have had sex, you're full of endorphins, which is painkillers, which means it's safer for an unpleasant emotion to surface. You're with a person that you trust, who can keep the tigers away from the door, which means you can relax and be less vigilant.
Yeah.
So basically, it's an expression of the fact that you're feeling safe to feel and release some things that otherwise you would have just hung on to for another, 5 years, 10 years, until it was safe to do so.
So it's a good thing.
Yeah.
So if people are, if they've ever got that question,
If people don't understand it, they can freak out.
Yeah, of course.
So if this happens and then your partner freaks out, that's going to shut you.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. But the best sex is when you are open to whatever is authentically present in you.
Yeah.
And that can take you in all kinds of random directions, but it absolutely guarantees the best quality of pleasure and
Definitely. Thank you for clearing that up. Not asking for a friend, but just clearing that up for a lot. I think.
Yeah,
I think we've all been there.
Yeah, personally, and I've heard it through a few different customers at work. So, yeah.
And it can also be relief if you've had like a period of rupture with a partner and then things have finally got good and you've
true.
Together,
that makes sense.
been sexual for the first time after
I mean, it's a very personal intercourse. Is extremely personal.
Connecting. Yeah.
Females, it's our temple, and it's internal for us. So you've got the energy and the connection with someone generally that you're creating, that you have something with. So of course it is on a deep, deep level. So yes, it does make sense to shed a tear.
Not every time.
No.
You freak them out.
No.
They'll think they're doing something wrong. What's a sneaky trauma response most people mistake for just not being into it? So when people say, I'm just not into it, what's
like never into it, or today I'm
just every now and then, just not into it. Like, should they be like, it's like a sneaky trauma response? Should they be stressed if they're saying they're not into it? Sort of delves a bit more.
Yeah, I mean, there's a trauma response called fawning, which is where you're seeing the other person as potentially threatened. So you're doing whatever they want in order to keep them happy.
Right.
And a lot of women have sex in fawning mode, a lot of them. So they may not themselves actually yet be aroused, or that this even might be somebody that they're actually angry at, or who's been hurting their feelings, not hurting them physically, but like who's been inconsiderate and disrespectful all day, and then rocks up in bed at night and expects something sexy to happen. And knowing how much effort it would be to deal with the fallout of saying no. She will go, okay, fine, I will, put out, because it will keep the peace. Right. And
you didn't really feel like it. So you
didn't really feel like it.
But
right. But didn't necessarily believe they had the right. Or no, they had the right to say no, but they didn't want to deal with what would happen.
Yes.
If they said no. Right. Because that's what makes it fawning. Right. It's like you're doing this to keep the other person happy because you don't want to suffer from them being unhappy.
So putting yourself last yet again, like what we started at the start, really. Yeah.
So there's no space for a person's own individual sexual expression if they're joining the dots together to keep somebody else from exploding. Like that is pretty normal not to feel a huge amount of desire in that circumstance.
Yeah, exactly. Well, what's a real turn on that doesn't involve lingerie but actually makes you feel safe, connected, and a little what the hell sort of thing? Like instead of lingerie, adult toys, which they're not a necessity,
No.
but they can really make things fun.
But yes, there's something else that makes you feel sexy other than lingerie.
And I would
Doesn't
say
need to be materialistic.
no. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I would say emotional attunement
Yeah. Okay.
and genuine care.
Yeah.
Like when somebody taps in and is aware without needing to be told in words what to do or what not to do. Like they're reading the room, they're reading the signals, and they're actively working to do what's good and to steer away from what's not good.
Yeah.
Like that is the gold standard.
It's a powerful tool, isn't it?
Yeah.
It really is, and it's not
Like-
not everyone has it.
Yeah. For me, it's now a minimum requirement because it's just not any fun having sex with someone who's not like that.
Yeah. I'm gonna hand the questions over to Kel.
Okay.
I know.
What's the first thing someone should do when their sex life is stalled, but they know it's deeper? They know it's deeper than desire.
Yeah. Unpack the emotional baggage.
Yeah.
Get rid of that goddamn bag.
Yeah. Just bits at a time
Yeah.
would make a difference. Like
Pluck from it.
as you get older, you do have more baggage stuck in that backpack of yours, right?
Yeah, but some of the most intense baggage, like the most that messes with your sex life the most, is stuff that happened before puberty. You've never dealt with, you've never unpacked. You know, like, are you afraid of men, or do you resent having to do things for men because of the way your father was? Or was your father completely absent, so you've actually got no positive imprint?
Yeah.
It can be
Any one of those weird. It makes so much sense.
Yeah.
And for men, right? Was your mother leaning on you for emotional support?
Exactly. It's not just women, it's men also.
But the number of men who have been like crippled emotionally by the fact that they had a mother leaning on them as their like little man of the house, like my boy is so important to me, not being able to have his own independent life because his mum needed him so much emotionally, you know, even if he got to move around freely, but just knowing that, you know, he had to be there for her. Especially if she's a single mom or the dad's like emotionally absent because he's alcoholic or whatever. Like it's the level of resentment against the female in general that can come from having a mother who is not attuned and who is using her son for her own ends rather than showing up and providing for him, right? So all of this kind of stuff, it can lurk under the surface for years and years and years without showing its head. And then it appears as a loss of libido or a loss of desire at a later stage. And then people try to solve it by sex therapy and, you know, working on the physical, sexual aspect of it, when actually the real cause is emotional.
Yeah.
I actually had a gentleman come in mid-20s, and because we still do DVDs, and a lot, and which everybody asked, do you still do DVDs? Yes, there's many reasons why, but he brought up it was a MILF, and just processing the sale, and he said, do you want to know why I buy these? And inside's going, no, thank you. No, really, I don't. No, I
wanted.
So he clearly wanted to tell me, and he said I had no mother figure. And it sort of made me think, what a different way to kind of get that mother figure back is in a porn film. So there's a lot of things that we do sort of also on a daily see that they're not seeing the right way, I think. to overcome or progress or heal in that sort of sense. And it always comes up in a sexual sort of way, which is
It's actually really common. Whatever disruption there has been to your psyche before puberty gets sexualized when the adult sexuality hits. Right? So if you have anxiety around not getting enough attention from your parents and being afraid that they're going to disappear or shut you in your room and you're anxious about, like, you just don't trust the certainty of love and you keep having to get reassurance.
Yeah.
As soon as you reach adulthood and you enter into an adult sexual relationship, you will be that way about the sexual partner.
Right.
And it's called anxious attachment, and it's treated like a whole separate thing. But it's not. It's simply a childhood thing that has been sexualized and is now playing out in your romantic and sexual relationships. But it is the same thing. It's not having your needs met fully as a child.
Yeah, it's interesting what you sort of see that comes through, not just us, but that straight away, it's one thing I thought is, you didn't have that connection there. You're searching for it, but you're searching on a sexual sort of term now, which is, which made sense to me and I understood. And it's sort of,
And you can actually, if you're aware of these things and you talk about these things, you can actually explore and process and release and heal the emotional stuff that's been sexualized in a healthy sexual relationship.
Yeah.
This is what role play is actually for in the human psyche. Like, children do role play all the time to help to resolve unresolved emotional stuff.
That's true.
Make-believe games, right? So adult sexual role play is just adult make-believe games.
Yes.
And we can process emotional stuff in that realm as long as everyone's honoring that that's what's happening and taking appropriate care.
Yeah.
Because these are very vulnerable things, these childhood emotions.
Massively. Massively.
Yeah. So, Dr. Jenny, if you could whisper one truth to every listener's inner child, what would it be?
You don't have to do adult sexy things unless you really want to.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Why'd you look at me then?
I just like looking at you like that.
You gave me that look like.
No, I just like, it just makes sense.
No, it's deep thought. It does make sense. Does make sense.
Yeah.
All right.
The more you can refrain from dragging your inner child to sexual places it doesn't want to go, the more access you'll have to the legitimate, authentic welling up of curiosity and excitement about exploring.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Well said.
Yeah.
Well said. Well, Dr. Jenny, we really appreciate it. A huge shout out for you for flipping the lights on in our emotional dungeons and reminding us that even sexy starts with safety, and so many tips and hints and just conversations that we've had this evening.
Nice and raw is how we like it.
That is definitely.
If you've ever felt broken, numb, or like your past is cock-blocking your present, it's time to heal and not hustle. Hit follow, leave us a 5 spicy stars, and we will see you next time in the sheets and in your psych. Thanks again, Dr. Jenny.
Thank
we
you.
appreciate your time. We know that you're really busy, and all the very best.
Yes, thank you so much.
And thank God the weather stayed in with us.
Yes.
And we were staying connected tonight.
Lovely to be here, B1 and B2.
Thank you. Thanks, Dr. Jenny.